And hello guys, welcome back to the channel. Today, I didn't want to keep you guys waiting too long, you know? I feel like I might have blue balled you a little bit, kind of as blue as my shirt, about yesterday's review for The Batman. So we're gonna hop right in today with some spoilers. And let me preference this again. I know I said this yesterday, but let me preference this again by saying that I really like this movie. I think you guys should go see this movie. I think this movie's very good. I think the cinematography of it is incredible. It's shot so well. Like, it quite literally makes Gotham City a character. I'd argue, if you really think about it, Gotham City is like more important of a character in this movie than Batman himself. But let's just get right in. Let's talk about the. No, I almost said the Jokers. We've had so many Jokers. Let's talk about the Riddler's master plan. Now, we see a bit of it in the trailers. You know, he's killing these people. He's trying to bring change to Gotham in his own way. And well, that we kind of do get more of that in the movie, but we actually get revealed in the movie the full extent of his plan. And his plan is to take out all the corrupt people in the city, as you would expect. Take them all out one by one, leave a riddle, but yeah, do that and then throw dirt on them at the end. Like, he kills these people and then he throws all this dirt on them to ruin their name. So he not only kills them, he ruins their reputation as well. But in the very end, I will say this is one thing I didn't like about this movie because this felt kind of anticlimactic to me. His master plan at the end was to blow up the dam that they mentioned earlier in the movie. Like, because in this universe, apparently Gotham City is New Orleans or like New York, and they have like a water dam or something in the city that keeps all the water out. So his master plan was to bring people to fear, get people to fear, because the one woman won the election, and that was all part of his plan. He took out her competition and all that, so she would win. And then during election night, he wanted to get everyone fearful and gather them all into one place, which conveniently was the election area, that big place in Gotham. His master plan was to get everyone gathered in one spot, the whole city gathered in one spot, because he blew the dam so everyone was evacuated in one spot. And then his master plan was to have his underlings who. Alright, before we get into that, let me just say the Riddler's like a YouTuber, guys. It's kind of funny. He's like a terrorist YouTuber, you know? He has a bunch of followers. He constantly is like online talking to people. There's even a scene that I laughed in the theater at where he's like, "Hi guys, thanks for all the support, the likes and the comments and all that recently. It's meant so much to me over the past 6 months we've been doing this." And I was just laughing because I was like, "Oh man, he's a YouTuber." But no, his master plan: get everyone gathered into that one area, and then have all his underlings who have been following him. Not really like his goons, but like people on these forums and all that he's talked to. It's kind of scarily real if you think about it. But all these people he has up in the rafters in this evacuated place, and he wants them to gun down everyone in there to make change. And I gotta say, it felt so anticlimactic. Like, you know, the scene from the trailers where Batman just comes crashing down through the ceiling and all that and takes out these gunmen? Like, that's literally the end of the movie. And that's our like big climactic fight is that right there. And I gotta say, it was kind of underwhelming. It was kind of underwhelming, honestly. So we'll get that out the way right now. Paul Dano as the Riddler was incredible. Every scene he's in is great. But I must say, that ending was anticlimactic. But now we'll get into the meat and potatoes. Now, first off, we'll start with Batman and Catwoman's relationship. I think that's a good thing. They have, I'd argue they have one of the most realistic relationships that they've been depicted in. Like I said, I'm not a comic book reader, guys. I don't know like the super specifics of the comics. Alright, I can't tell you, oh, in this issue, in page 54 or whatever, this happened. No, I can't do that. I've seen all the live action movies, and what I can tell you from that is that this is like by far. I've seen some animated movies too, but this is like a very realistic relationship they have. You know, they're both like super emotionally damaged people, and yeah, they just kind of are attracted to each other. Because you see, Catwoman's only even involved in this because Batman conveniently ran into her in the Penguins Club looking for this one girl. Because, alright, let's backtrack a little bit. Our movie starts with the Riddler killing the mayor of Gotham, which is already not a good thing because he was running against this other lady. So he killed her, he took her out. So now she's running unopposed. And all part of his plan, by the way. And he kills her. So, and Batman looks into it and he finds out that the mayor was cheating on his wife. Yeah, crazy, I know. Politician cheating? Crazy. But, yeah, he finds out he was cheating and he finds this picture of the mayor with this one woman. So he goes to investigate it. And who else can he turn to? Of course, the Penguin. So he goes to the lounge to ask the Penguin these questions. He doesn't know, of course, but he runs into Selina there, who conveniently is working there. And he notices right away that she recognizes that picture. So he leaves there, he starts following her, and it turns out those two are living together. They are friends. It feels like they're more than friends, but I don't think we ever specifically see anything like that, so we'll just say they're friends. And she's devastated because her picture got shown on the news and all that. Everyone knows about all this now. So naturally, she's devastated. They need to leave town. And that's Catwoman's big thing, you know? She just wants to help her friends, who actually ends up getting kidnapped. And that's why her and Batman start working together to begin with, because she wants to help her friend. And she breaks into the mayor's house to try to steal her passport back. And Batman stops her. And they start working together because she gets kidnapped. So, you know, they're in the club and all that. Batman gave her one of his little eye things, which I'll say, that's right now. Batman in this movie apparently has little, like, camera contact lenses. Like, he literally puts the contact lens on his eyeball, and it's like a camera. It's kind of cool, honestly, but we never get explained any of the gadgets, which I don't think is a bad thing, honestly. Like, we've all seen movies like this. Like, we know Batman, dude. We know he's got the utility belt and all that. We don't need, like, a Morgan Freeman-esque scene from The Dark Knight and all that explaining where the weapons come from. Like, we know. We know. So, yeah, he gives one of those to Selina and sends her into the club. And that's where we find out that basically everyone, all the cops are corrupt. All the cops are corrupt, all the people that work in the Senate of Gotham are corrupt. Basically, like, the only person that's not corrupt in this movie is Gordon. Like, let's be honest. Like, that's usually how it is in Gotham. Like, everyone's corrupt. Yeah, but she goes in there and, yeah, she finds that out for Batman, and it's kind of crazy, you know? It's a long movie, guys, so I'm not trying to talk about everything, but we'll talk about that. As she finds that out, so now Gordon and Batman are like this buddy cop kind of team, which I actually kind of like. Their dynamic in this movie is fantastic, guys. I really think you'll love it if you go see it. Jeffrey Wright is incredible as Gordon. I could never understand the backlash of, oh, we can't have a black Commissioner Gordon. Like, that's so stupid. That's so ridiculous. Because he is great. He kills it. I could literally watch a buddy cop movie just between these two. They are great. They bounce off each other so well. And there's actually some comedy in some scenes too, which is fantastic. Like, it's not super serious. Like, there's some corny stuff, like, they're looking through, like, the mayor's car and all that, and Batman says, I'm looking for a USB port. And he finds it, and he pulls out the thumb drive, and there's literally the mayor's thumb attached to the thumb drive. You get it, guys? You literally get It's corny, but it's funny. You know, they have some funny moments between each other. They're really good. You could definitely watch a buddy cop movie between them. But yeah, their relationship is great. Like you can tell that they've built up some trust between each other over the past couple years that they've known each other. Because they said Batman's been doing this for 2 years now, and Gordon even says in the movie that the only one he trusts, he doesn't trust anyone on the police force. He says the only one I trust is you, Batman. And that just really goes to show you, like, just the amount of trust they've built up between each other over the years. Like, in this movie, like, Gordon, he goes above and beyond to help Batman, dude. Like, Batman is naive and he's kind of, like, hot headed at some points. He just kind of wants to charge in and use brute force, but Gordon's like, nah, man, you can't be doing that. We gotta be more discreet. This is not the way to do this. And you can tell that he's definitely gonna, he rubbed off on Robert Pattinson. So I gotta say, their dynamic is great. But yeah, we actually find out. Like you, all right. We'll start talking about this. You guys think that the Penguin's like a major character in this movie? He is really not. Like he's a side character basically. Like we don't even get him that much. Like you know that scene in the trailer where he's chasing him down the road and we get the awesome Batmobile shot? That's probably the longest he's on screen. You know, he is literally like a side character in this movie. Because actually the Riddler, I don't he's not really a side character, but I would not say he's the only villain of this movie. Like I said, you got the Penguin, he's a little side character, but no. Falcone is actually like a huge part of this movie. Carmine Falcone. He is a very big part. And if you know Batman stuff, you know who Falcone is. He's actually a huge part of this movie. You know, he's manipulating everything from the strings because it turns out that the GCPD and all that, they did a huge bust years ago. Not on Falcone, but what's the other guy's name? The other crime boss. There's so many. There's so many names in Batman series, guys. Like Maloney? No, not Maloney. But yeah, the other crime boss that's in the city, they do a big bust on him. But it turns out, and it's the biggest in the whole city, but it turns out that Falcone actually arranged all that. And he runs everything, like the GCPD, the Senate, everything in Gotham is run by him. So he is actually a huge player in this movie. Like, completely. I'd argue that for a good majority of this movie, he is kind of like the main villain of the movie. Like, the Riddler gets sidelined a little bit towards around, like, the middle of the movie. And it's kind of interesting, you know? Like, he's really the man running everything. And they're trying, for a good part of this movie, they're just focused on him, trying to take him down. Because we find out that Selina actually has a past with him. And here's something I didn't like. Like, I don't know if this is like a comic thing, if this is in comics or something, but we find out that Falcone is actually Selina's dad. Which, like I said, I don't know if that's a thing, but I turned my head in the movie theater and I was like, wait, what? Because I certainly don't remember that being a thing. Maybe in some like new comics that's a thing, but I thought that was a little weird, you know? It was a little strange that that happened and that was the case, but hey, it ran the story and you know, she wants to take him out. You know, because who wouldn't? Because she finds out that her mother was murdered and she suspects that Falcone was the one that did it. So later, actually, we're jumping around a little bit because this is a really long movie, guys. But it turns out Selina actually captures one of the crooked DA or GCPD members, and he reveals that Falcone actually was the one that murdered her friend that she was looking for the whole time. So that's why she wants to get her revenge on him. She wants to kill him once and for all. And Batman's just trying to stop her because we know how he is, you know? As dark and as brooding as he is in this movie, he realizes that once you cross that line, you can't come back. Which is true, you know? But she's just dead set on it. So he's got to go save her at some point. And yeah, there's just a lot that happens in this movie. Like a lot of subtle things, you know? It's kind of a hard movie to describe to you guys. So I'm just trying to tell you the major plot points. But we'll get back to that a little bit. Because now we'll go back to the Riddler and his schemes. Because it turns out, as he's killing all these officials, one of his targets is actually Bruce Wayne. And we find out in this scene that maybe Bruce's parents weren't all on the up and up like we would think. Like from the trailers, you kind of get that hint, you know? That maybe his parents aren't the nice saints that you think they are. And we find out that Bruce Wayne's mom, Martha, actually has like a shit ton of problems. Like she was in mental institutions her whole life. Like we find out that her parents, like her mother, murdered her father and killed herself afterwards. And that there was a reporter that was trying to smear Bruce Wayne's father, Thomas Wayne, and all that. He was trying to smear him during his campaign years ago. You know, by saying, hey, I'll release all this information about your wife. This will ruin you in your election. You'll never be elected with something like this. So we find out that Thomas Wayne actually went to Falcone and he said, I want you to put the fear of God in this man. And he did, but that wasn't enough. So Falcone took it into his own hands and he had the guy killed. And we're led to believe that Bruce Wayne's dad, Thomas Wayne, had a man murdered, you know, that his past is not as squeaky clean as you think. Falcone says it himself. He even says in the movie, like, you'd be surprised what the evil things that a good man can do when he's pushed to the brink. And that just, because he's telling that to Bruce, actually, not Batman. He's telling that to Bruce, who is just absolutely shocked, because in the scene previous, the Riddler, this is when we find out about Martha and all them, and we find out that Bruce is his target. So the scene before Falcone tells him all this, like the Riddler tries to kill Alfred, like he has a bomb sent to Wayne Manor and all that. And he almost kills Alfred, you know? That's why I was saying earlier in my review yesterday that Alfred's not in the movie very much. They kind of take him out. And this bomb certainly didn't help, you know? He's basically dead. Which I thought would be crazy if they did something like that. Like, holy shit, they're killing Alfred. That'd be crazy. But no, he didn't die. He's just in the hospital. And Bruce is devastated. So he, like I said, he goes to find Falcone, and Falcone tells him all this about his father, and he is just shell-shocked. He cannot believe it's happening. He's like, there's no way. So he goes and confronts Alfred about this, as most people would. And that's where we get the scene from the trailers, like, you lied to me, Alfred, my whole life. And Alfred just flat out tells him, like, no, that is ridiculous. Like, your father was a great man that made a bad decision, and he beat himself up over it multiple times. Like, Alfred flat out even says, like, no, your father deeply regretted that, and he went to Falcone and said that, oh man, like, oh, I can't have this. This is unacceptable. I'm going to come clean about this. The guilt's killing me. And we're led to believe, because even Alfred himself says this in the movie, like, I don't know for certain, but now we're led to believe that Falcone is the one that actually killed Bruce's parents. And I gotta say, like I said in my video yesterday, I'm glad we don't see their death again. Like, we've seen Thomas and Martha Wayne die so many times in these movies. Like, we really don't need to see it again. I really like the fact that we do not see it, because we don't need it, you know? Just like Spider-Man and Uncle Ben, we don't need to see these scenes over and over again. We get it, you know? We've seen the previous movies and other series related to these characters. Like, we know what happens. So I love that we don't have to see it. But yeah, Alfred tells him, no, I think Falcone's the one that killed your father. And Bruce is enraged because he was just talking to the man. He was face to face with the man literally the scene before, and he just can't take it. And yeah, that leads to then Selina finding out about her friend and all that, and it's just crazy. And Batman, he tries to stop her, naturally, as you would, because she was gonna throw her life away and kill him. He even has a great line in that scene where he's talking to her, like, he's taken enough from you and all that. Like, he deserves to pay, but not like this. He's taken enough from you. Don't you deserve to heal now? And right before she's about to kill him, she does stop. And they let him go. They're taking him out. And Gordon has a great line in this scene where Falcone says to him, like, "Ha, I'll see you when I get out. I own this city, Gordon. Like, you're just gonna arrest me and I'll walk right out." Then we have a great scene where they walk him out of the building, and we see all the cops that finally woke up and realized this isn't it. And Gordon just says to him, like, seems like not everyone was on your payroll. And it's great, you know? At this moment, we're really far into the movie, and you start thinking to yourself, like, man, this movie is good. Like, it's about to end. But no, we find out that the Riddler actually kills him. This was all a part of his plan. He was playing Batman like a fiddle the entire time with these. Like, he was manipulating him the whole time. Like, he needed to get Falcone out. And the only way to do it was to trick Batman into arresting him and literally bringing him out of his fortress that he had so the Riddler could snipe him and kill him. And then we get our scene from the trailer where he's running and we see him in this cafe. And it's a really unnerving scene, I gotta say. Like, he lets himself be captured to do this, because that's all part of his plan too. And then we have a great scene where Batman is confronting him in the prison, and this is where Paul Dano really shines. This is where we really see his acting chop. He steals this scene. He is so unnerving and just creepy, guys. He is a great choice for the Riddler. At least this interpretation of Riddler. I don't. If y'all want like Jim Carrey Riddler, that's one thing. But like this Riddler is serious. He's unnerving. He is disturbing. And he does a great job. Like, he's freaking Batman out. And this is when Batman realizes his plans with the dam. And like I said earlier, I feel like it's kind of a weak kind of conclusion, you know? I'd say the good thing that comes out of it is Batman narrowly saves everyone. Like, he gets shot so many times. Like, man, if his suit wasn't bulletproof in this movie, guys, he'd be dead literally like 10 times over. Because he gets shot so much in this movie. It's crazy. But he narrowly saves them. He dies. He gets shot point blank range in the chest. He almost dies. Like, he's on his back, just completely out of it. And then, of course, Selina comes and saves him. But then she gets attacked, and she's about to die. And we just have this really good scene. He injects himself with, I don't know what he injects himself with. I want to assume adrenaline, but I'm not sure if that like ever gets addressed in the movie. He injects his arm with something that looks like adrenaline, and he gets like a second wind for a little bit. He takes this guy out, and he's just beating the hell out of him. He's gonna kill him. Until Gordon just runs up and be like, "Hey, that's enough!" And Batman, he's just completely out of it. He's ready to punch Gordon. But he does calm down. And then they ask this guy who he's beating the hell out of, like, "Why'd you do this? Who are you?" And then we get one of the best scenes in this movie, I think. Because the gunman literally says, "I am vengeance," which is a complete callback to earlier in the movie. And this is where Batman realizes, like, I have inspired this city, but I've inspired the wrong people in it. You know, my goal here was to help people, to better things, but I'm inspiring the evil people to do all these evil things. Like, I need to change my approach. And it's in this scene that we get arguably one of the most impactful scenes I think we've seen in a Batman movie, just in general. Like, he goes down into the water to save the people because their area got flooded, of course, because this is covered in glass, so their little evacuation area is all underwater. cuts the power line so no one dies and all that, and he just goes down there and he just extends his hand. And no one wants to take it because they're terrified of him, obviously. He's a fucking guy in a giant bat suit. Of course they're terrified of him. But we get this one scene with this little kid who we see throughout the movie, the mayor's son. We see throughout the entire movie. He really gets shown a lot. I've actually heard rumors that he might become Robin. But I don't know about that. I don't know if I want that. I'm just saying. I've heard rumors about that. But he's the only one that extends his hand because he's met Batman a couple times already. And he's like, this guy's not scary. He's no one to be terrified of. He's trying to help. And that one action is what inspires the other people to be like, alright, maybe I can trust him. And it's in this scene that Batman realizes, like, I can't be vengeance anymore. I can't be vengeance because I'm inspiring the wrong people. I need to do something different. I need to bring hope to people. I need to inspire them to change in a better way. And that's really like the whole undertone of the movie. Is like change. It's a pretty violent movie, but the undertone of the movie is change and to be hope, to inspire people to do better, and all that. And I gotta say, I really love that scene. I thought that was a great scene for just Batman as a character. Like, his development in this movie was excellent. Because he realizes, like, I can't do this the way I've been doing it. I have to inspire them. And it was a great scene. But yeah, I gotta say, the climax was kind of anticlimactic. And the movie was so long. Like, honestly, the movie felt done when they arrested the Riddler. And that's when I thought it was going to end. Guys, I thought it was going to end right then and there when they arrested him. It could have. They literally could have ended it right then and there and been like, part 2 coming in a year or something. They really could have done that. But no, they didn't, and they extended the movie probably for a good another like 45 minutes plus. And I don't know, I feel like they could have trimmed it up, because that is a criticism of mine. Like, the movie was great. I was never bored at all watching it, but it's really long, you know, and you do feel it. You feel the length of the movie. I just feel like they could have trimmed some things up, you know? Maybe put it in another one, maybe not. They could have just trimmed some things up. That's a complaint of mine. And I felt like the Riddler's endgame was a little weak, you know? I thought it was a little weak. I thought it'd be something grandiose and crazy, but no, it's just normal, like, maniac stuff. But yeah, besides that, guys, this movie is fantastic. I highly suggest you go and check it out, because I'm sure I didn't mention every single thing that happened. You know, this is a 3-hour movie. We'd be here for like 3.5 hours if I sat and described everything. So you know what? You guys go see this movie, and you let me know how you like it in the comments. I'd love to hear it. I'd love to discuss this with you guys. But yeah, I think that's about it. This is a really long video, so I think we'll end it there. So yeah, like I said, let me know in the comments, guys, how you felt about this, because I thought it was great. I would love a second movie, but I don't know, because at the end, it's kind of implied that the Riddler is in jail with the Joker. And it's not like Heath Ledger's Joker, or not Heath Ledger's, Jared Leto's Joker and all that. It's someone different. We don't see their face, but it's implied that it's him. And I don't know, are we really ready to see another Joker? I feel like that's too soon. I don't know, but I think I would like to see another movie in this franchise, honestly, because everything was great about it. You guys gotta go check it out. But yeah, leave a like if you guys like this video. I'm enjoying doing this stuff for you guys, honestly. It's pretty good. I feel like it helps me out, too. It makes me happy to do it. So hopefully you guys feel the same. If you do, leave a like. That's how I know. Subscribe if you want more videos like this. I say it every time, guys, but it helps a lot, you know? You know, we gotta build up the fam here. We gotta build up the community so we can start doing bigger and cooler stuff. But yeah, guys, that'll be it for today. I love y'all. I hope you have a good day, week, and month. Even year, too. You know, just have a good every day. You know, hopefully every day is fantastic. Until next time, I'll see you guys. Deuces